During an intensive 6-month investigation, the LAPD has tracked down a gang of hired hitmen and linked them to Neil and Stuart Woodman. Now it's time to haul in all of the players.
When it came time for the arrest of all our suspects, we were working very closely with the FBI and also Las Vegas.
It was a coordinated effort. Search warrants and arrest warrants were obtained in California and in Nevada. In Los Angeles on that morning, Robert Hommick was arrested in his house. Steve Hommick was arrested in the Valley. Neil Woodman was arrested at Manchester Products. And Stuart Woodman was arrested en route to Manchester Products from his house in Calabasas.
In Las Vegas, detectives execute a search warrant on Stephen Hommick's house and uncover a motherlode of information.
Every room in the house was stacked 6 foot high with books. He liked to write everything down.
Stephen Hommick's diaries include pages of incriminating details. He even mentioned the $25,000 payment he received from Neil Woodman.
He wrote himself a note saying, "Get up in the morning, put on your shoes, go to the bank. This is the account number. Take out the money."
Detectives also find a map to a remote location in the Nevada desert. They go there hoping to find the money or a murder weapon.
While we were out there, a Nevada highway patrolman come by and, "What are you guys doing out here?" And we told him, he goes, "Oh, I recovered a stolen car at this exact location. It was burned to the ground." Guess whose car that was? Manchester Products.
The car was one of many that the Woodman brothers and Stephen Hommick used for insurance scams. The charges are stacking up, but police still need proof of the murder, so they search Robert Hommick's residence.
When police searched Robert Hommick's apartment in Brentwood, they couldn't believe their eyes. The man was a pack rat. He threw nothing out.
And there, in plain sight, the most incriminating evidence of all.
Although Stephen Hommick had told his brother to throw the bolt cutters away, Robert Hommick had been unable to do so, and so the crucial piece of evidence that would link to the crime scene on the night of the murders was sitting on the desk.
Suspense novelist Faye Kellerman knows that a good mystery is all about strange characters and critical evidence.
As a writer, I love moments like this, when the bad guys are outsmarted at their own game. Who would have thought a pair of bolt cutters would turn out to be the smoking gun?
When I compared microscopically the bolt cutters to the marks that are present on the chain link, I found sufficient agreement.
It's the final nail in the coffin. Detectives can finally connect the Hommick brothers to the crime scene.
That bolt cutter was used to cut the chain link, and no other bolt cutter.
Investigators are now ready to take their case to court. Stephen and Robert are joined by a third Hommick brother, Bill. All three are tried first in Nevada.
Stephen Hommick never showed any type of remorse during the trial. He would sit through the trial and appeared to be very uninterested, except when somebody was testifying against him. And then he'd just stare at that individual.
The evidence is irrefutable.
Stephen Hommick and his 2 brothers were convicted of all charges, which included murder for hire, running a criminal enterprise, narcotics trafficking, and arson.
At that time, we were going for life without the possibility of parole for everybody involved in our case, and for Steve Hommick, who we determined was the shooter in this case, the death penalty.
Detectives get exactly the sentence they're hoping for. Life for Robert Hommick and Bill Hommick, and death for their brother Stephen.
Steve Hommick's an evil man. He thinks he's the smartest man in the world, and he's now in prison.
I believe in all of my career, Stephen Hommick was the most cold-blooded individual I had ever met.
In Los Angeles, prosecutors prepare for the trials of Neil and Stuart Woodman.
The attorneys severed the cases. They split them up. And the first to go to trial was Stuart Woodman.
Faced with the phone records, the evidence of the payoff, and the testimony of Michael Dominguez, the jury needs only 3 hours of deliberation.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Stuart Woodman, guilty of the crime of conspiracy to commit murder, a felony.
Immediately, Stuart wants to cut a deal. He is ready to sell out his brother.
Mr. Woodman, has been represented to us through your counsel that you wish to make a statement in this matter concerning the murders of Gerald and Vera Woodman. Is that correct? That's correct.
What a misanthropic and self-serving group of people. We talk about the bonds of blood, but Stuart Woodman was clearly not his brother's keeper.
It was the meetings weren't, how's the plans on the murder going? It was never what it was like.
It's been close to a year since the murders, but the conflict is only just beginning.
Neil talked to Steve a lot more nights.
When the dust settles, investigators